Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wisdom from the Angels. Hi, my name is Carolyn. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are returning, so appreciate you coming back. Please hit the subscribe button down below and the bell next to it for email notifications. Everything you need to know about me is in the box below. Sometimes I forget to say that, so I try to get it all out in the beginning. I'd like for you to also to consider giving me a thumbs up and perhaps share this with someone who needs inspiration. This is going to be a new reading for us here on the channel. It is going to be called The Dance of the Planets. And we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about, different astrological things that are going on that impact us. So whether you believe in astrology or not, very much like the angels, whether you believe in them or not, you are affected. And because I came into this early on in life, astrology was something that one of my aunts practiced. And she also used herbs from the garden to cure different things and flowers and all of that. So I kind of had that background growing up. My dad died when I was about 9 years old, 7 years old, 7.5. And I then went to live with his younger brother and his family, and that was not something they practiced, so it was no longer discussed. But I did remember it, and I did remember a lot of the astrological information that I got. And when I got to college, one of my first books, when I find it, I'll have to show it to you because it's being held together by masking tape. I don't even think it's still in print now. But it was an astrology book. It was one of my first books I bought at college. And it was all about the different signs. And people would come and ask me, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And I would say, oh, okay. And then I was surprised at how much I had retained. And over the years, I've used astrology for myself, for my family, and my friends. And I'm not an astrologist, but I do understand the language. I know a lot of the language of astrology is presented in glyphs, those little squiggly different figures that they have for each sign. And so I understand a lot about astrology, but I am not an astrologist. But what I am going to do is talk this time about the planets that are retrograde. Why am I doing this? For a while, I was doing a meditation every month for the new moon and the full moon, and it was called the Dance of the Planets because they affect us. They affect us tremendously, whether we believe in it or not. You know, you're wondering, why is my car breaking down every 3 or 4 months? Why is this going on? Why is that going on? If you stop and look, if it's a technology thing and your computers are acting up like mine started yesterday, we're in the shadow right now of Mercury retrograde. So that's about to happen later this month. So if you want to grab a pen and pencil, I'm going to go through some of the things that are going on, that are showing up, maybe impacting your life, and you may not understand why now this is happening. And I hope this will shed a little light on it. If you are into astrology and you are looking to get a reading, I would suggest that if you don't have your own astrologist, you can always send me an email, wisdomfromtheangels@email.com. It's down below. And I have a few people that I can recommend. You can contact them for a reading. You can also, look around on YouTube and see if there are other people that you feel comfortable with, okay? All right, but today we're going to be talking about the Dance of the Planets, and we're going to also look at what the angels have to say. So stay tuned for this new reading, all right? And we're going to also bring in the angels and the energy and clear the air and do what we normally do. So welcome to Dance of the Planets. To help me ground, I'm going to use this black obsidian. Where is my amethyst? And my amethyst I've got two beautiful stones, and the amethyst has another couple of other crystals on it. But anyway, I'm going to use these for grounding. Angels, archangels, beings from other planets near and far, our own spiritual teams, the ascended masters, our ancestors, and our own spiritual teams come in now and bring us the guidance, support, and information that we need as we are on our journey. Bring in what is for our highest good and highest healing. We are so grateful and thankful for the many ways you show up in our lives. We're so grateful and thankful for all that you bring to our lives. We're so grateful and thankful for each and every moment of your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let me first start off with the planets and what in the world are they doing? All right. Well, this month we have 7 planets that are retrograde. Now don't get nervous. Retrograde just means that the planet doesn't stop moving and then start turning backwards. It means that the energy is doing the opposite of what it normally might do, although the inner planets affect us more, like Mercury, than the outer planets. The outer planets, retrogrades take longer because they are further out, but the inner planets do affect us. Although they all affect us, it's just that sometimes they affect us in different ways, and I'm going to talk about that with you. So we're going to start off with good old Pluto, which is, people are saying it's not a planet. Well, it is, maybe it's a planet. Okay. It's still in astrology considered a planet, so that's what we're going to talk about. So Pluto went retrograde April 27. It's going to last until October the 6th. Now, Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It's about inner transformation. And it encourages us to let go very, very slowly of something that we need to let go of to make room for something new. And if you went back to the reading, for the weekly reading, that was the message, to let go of. And it was around relationships, but it's maybe telling us that it's a good time now for us to let go of these things. And we have until October 6th. Now, what you're going to notice is that a lot of these retrogrades overlap. So we're just talking about the planetary overlaps. I'm not doing the signs and how they're overlapping or their retrogrades. The next sign that is retrograde from May 23rd to October the 10th is Saturn. And Saturn's all about responsibility and discipline and maturity. And when Saturn is moving forward, it has a way of laying down the law, and it does it like that. It's not a soft landing with its message. However, when it's retrograde, it is not that intense. Although it gets our attention, it just does it in a different way, a softer way. But it is a time for us to rethink our work ethic. It's also a time for us to reflect on what our efforts could be. Okay? I have this written down. That's why I keep looking down. Jupiter went retrograde June the 20th. And it'll stay retrograde through October 18th. It is the planet of expansion, adventure, wisdom, and spontaneity. You can't help when Jupiter is direct and it's around, everything is louder and things happen faster and stronger and everything is more enhanced. And depending on what sign it is in, it can be even more enhanced. Like if it's in Leo, it's like, oh my goodness, hold on tight. But when it's retrograde, it's the time where things slow down a little and it's a little more modest. It encourages us to look at where we can grow internally, and it can help expand our spiritual side. Now we also have Neptune. went retrograde June 25th, and that'll last until December 1st. Now, Mercury rules over our imagination, our intuition, our subconscious, and our ability to transcend reality. And when Neptune has a way of getting us to believe just about anything. It can be quite an elusive planet, and it can be very disorienting. However, during a retrograde, illusions are stripped away, and we get a better clarity around the truth that's surrounding us. Now we come up with the next. Some call it a planet. It has been considered an asteroid, Chiron. And that is when we are connected to our vulnerability and our insecurity shows up. It's a way of showing us where our innermost wounds are. It's also a way of showing us how to heal them. So that's where our traumas are, and we find out how to heal them if we're paying attention. When Chiron is retrograde, it encourages us to look into our hearts and to truly embrace our emotional struggles that we've been ignoring. So if there's something you've been ignoring and not looking at and paying attention to, now's the time to do that, because you have between now and December 19th to really heal those wounds. It can also be a very healing experience that can happen right now on a very profound and very deep level. Okay? Now we also have Uranus. Remember, it's an outer planet. So it's going to be a little longer. It's going to hang around and be retrograde a lot longer. And that has been retrograde from August the 19th to January 18th of 2022. Uranus is the planet of unpredictability, individuality, and futuristic thinking. This planet is always 2 steps ahead of the curve, throwing thunderbolts at change wherever it sees fit. However, when it is retrograde, its intensity can be unstable. It can be a little subdued, but it encourages us to go inward for change, to find the courage to embrace our authenticity. And it's about learning independence. Then we come up with our good old friend Mercury, which is going to go retrograde on September the 27th through October 18th. Now, a shadow period, it varies depending on who you talk to, but it can be from 7 to 14 days before, so we call that pre-shadow, and 7 to 14 days after, we call that post-shadow. So Mercury might have started going retrograde September 13th or September 20th, whichever works for you. For me, it started on the 13th. And it may last through October 25th through November the 3rd, okay? So during that time, just kind of be very aware. During a Mercury retrograde, you may complain a lot more, because Mercury is the planet of communication, logic, and transportation. When it stations in a retrograde position, things go way off track. We tend to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. We tend to forget important appointments, and we experience delays and malfunctions, especially around technology and our automobiles. It's not a great time to start a new project, but it is a perfect time to go back and look at unfinished ones. All right, so that's something to be really aware of and really look at. Okay, so when we look at these times from now through the end of the year, we do have some significant retrograde action going on. Let's see who is in. Yeah, we've got a lot of them going right on through December. Okay, Mercury, fortunately, is not one of them. So, why is all of this stuff important? Because it has an effect on us. And while all of these planets are retrograde, we're also, so you can say retrograde or retrograde. The importance of knowing it is also, too, we have an overlap of other energy. We have new moon energy and we have full moon energy. So the next new moon is going to be October the 6th in Libra. The next new moon after that is November 4th in Scorpio. The next one is December 4th, and the last one of the year is in Sagittarius. Now, new moons are a time of new beginnings. It is also the sun sign that is happening at that moment. It is also the first lunar phase of the moon. New moons normally cannot be seen by the naked eye. However, there is still a lot going on behind the scenes. Okay? Remember, the moon has 8 phases. The new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter moon, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, the waning gibbous, the third quarter, the waning crescent, and then we're back to the new moon. The 4 phases of the moon that we kind of pay attention to the most on this planet are the new, the first quarter, the full, and the third quarter. Okay? Those are the 4. Now, there are 13 phases of the moon that happen throughout the year. Almost every year. It depends on each year. So you can go online and find out where the moon was when you were born. And there's a whole astrology around that too. I happened to be born when the moon was in a waxing gibbous phase, headed toward the full moon in a few days, I think 3 or 4 days later. So what that means is someone like me is someone who is revving up to go, revving up to go, revving up to go, and can get things done, is action oriented, is inspired, is curious. So look and see what your phase of the moon when you were born, what that means. You can find that on Google. Now, the full moon happens during each month. Some months are 2 full moons, but for the rest of the year, the dates of the full moon are going to be September 20th, and that's going to be in Pisces, and it is a harvest moon, because the full moons each have names that the indigenous tribes gave, and it can also be called the corn moon. And you can kind of figure out why. It's a great time for harvesting. October 20th is the Aries full moon, and that's called the hunter's moon. Again, you can kind of figure that out, why that is. It's a good time for hunting. And that's what they would do at those times. November the 19th is another full moon in Taurus, and it is the beaver full moon. And in December, the next full moon is in Gemini on December the 18th, and it's called the coal moon. And you can figure out why. Brr, it's December. Now, new moons are about beginnings. Full moons are about what? Endings, releasing. When we have a full moon, it is also a time that can be chaotic, but it is also a time where we can see the truth of the matter. If you want to know, say there's a full moon coming up, but you're not sure what sign it is, but you want to play a game and just see how well you know the zodiac, what season are you in the new moon? So say it's going to be the September new moon, which we had on September the 7th. Well, the full moon is in Pisces. Why? Because you count 6 planets away. And there you are. That's the full moon sign. Okay? So that's what you do. You count 6 signs from the new moon to find out what the full moon is. Or again, you can just Google it. But that's how they had to do it back in the olden days. Moon cycles are 27 days long. That varies depending on the length of the month. And if you notice, the moon may appear different every single night. Okay? All right, so that's what I have for you for the full moon, new moon information and the planetary dance. So now let's go in and ask the angels to give us some information about this last half of the year. What information do we need to be aware of, and what do we need to look at? Okay, I've already shuffled them, but now I'm looking to get some information from the cards. Okay, they said take this one for September, this one for for October. This one for November. And this one for December. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Loving it. All right, let's see where we can get some support from the archangels for each month, okay? Let's just see. Now, I do this for myself, too, so, oh, my goodness. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. Okay, angels, is there an additional message? They said yes. Okay, with what actions? Okay, we're going to take that, and that. An additional one. Okay, all right. Okay, so the message for September. Remember, we have all these planets that are doing their own things, and they're retrograde 7 this month. And it's saying, the Magician. Can't make this up. It says magic is alive in your life right now. Remember, retrogrades are not necessarily, when we hear the word, we might get anxious, but they're not negative times. We need to have balance, and this is how the universe balances things out. If a planet, say like Jupiter, was always direct, things would be going fast, 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 expanding, expanding, expanding. Saturn would be laying down the law, laying down the law, laying down the law. A retrograde, things soften up a little for some of the signs, okay? Except Mercury, where things just go completely kaplooey. Anyway, but in September, it's saying it's a great time to manifest. And remember, the September full moon is the harvest moon. So it's a great time to bring in exactly what you're looking for. Before you begin to manifest, we have Archangel Jeremiah saying, do a life review and take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So if there's something unbalanced, start looking at it. And while we're in Mercury retrograde, so that you don't try to have this conversation or anything like that, just review. Just review what needs to change. Review what needs to happen. Review what really needs to be resolved. Now, that doesn't require you to have a conversation with anyone. Remember that now. You can do all of this with the angels and have a conversation with them. Reminder, when we don't remember what angel to call on, what do we say on this channel? Come on now, y'all. Angels, get the flock in here. Okay, so that's a reminder for this channel of what we do. Let me write that down because I got something new coming up that you'll see in the comment section. Not in the comment section, but under the box below. I'm going to add all of this information for you of the cards that they're asking you to pay attention to. So for September, use the time to review. Use the time to start setting goals. Use the time for magic. Use the time to really start to think about, what would I like to manifest? Where would I like to manifest it? You can also use the energy of the full moon to manifest it. We're still not in Mercury retrograde. And even though a full moon is about releasing, well, release what is no longer working. Remember, we have a life review. Release what is no longer working. Let it go. Let the universe take it and transform it. How can you release it? Set up a ritual. Light some candles. Get some flowers. Have something smelling nice. Have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. And start to really think about, what do I need to let go of? What in my life is not working? We got a new year coming. 2022 is coming. Let's get ready. Let's use September, October, November, December, these 4 months, to get ready for this next new wonderful year that's coming at us. Because it's going to be a powerful year, okay? And they're saying, while you're doing all of this, to remain positive. Remain positive and start to say to yourself, because this is just now channeling through, so I'm making notes. Everything always works out for me. I'm going to put this in the box below. Everything works out for me. That can be your affirmation for the rest of September. Or you can even use it from full moon to full moon. If you like affirmations, there's nothing wrong with having more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect, it affects, the amount does not affect the way that it can manifest. Okay? It's best to work with 3 to 5 so that it doesn't overwhelm you. If you're going to feel overwhelmed, work with 1. What is meant for you will come to you. These are just guidelines. Okay? All right. So for October, it is the 10 of fire. And it says, you've been working too hard. Remember all those planets that we had? And this person is standing there holding their head, and they have all of these, looks like tools in this basket, and they're just overwhelmed. And it's a time for balance. So while Mercury is retrograde and other planets are retrograde, whichever you want to say works, while that is going on, take the time to find some balance in your life. Take the time to rest. We are going into winter. Fall is a time of harvesting, a time of really getting clear about what it is we would like to see manifest, and start to use that time wisely. I'm looking for a date. And start to look at, it's also a great time of year to look at what people can you bring on your team to help you. And also to look at any underlying health issues. It's a great time of year. I used to use October as a time, October, November, early November, as a time to go get all my checkups. Back when you didn't have to wait 29,000 days to get one. But I used it as a time so that when Thanksgiving came around, that's what I was giving gratitude for. You know, I didn't want to get caught up in some of the conversations around Thanksgiving and what it means for some people. For me, it's one of my favorite holidays. Thanksgiving, I love Halloween. In fact, I love all the holidays. But I really looked forward to Thanksgiving as a time of being grateful, of showing gratitude, for my and really just embracing all the blessings that have come through. And so they're saying here in October, use this time wisely. Start to look at where you need balance in your life, and start to look at it from the standpoint of what are the gifts that you can recognize in your life. This is saying these are gifts from God. Now you may call God by different names. I use the divine or the universe. And the message here is from Archangel Sandalphon. And Sandalphon is the person that you give your prayers to. And Sandalphon weaves them into a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message and hand delivers them to the divine. Now comes the conversation of, I don't need the angels, I go straight to God. Do what works for you. Consider the divine developed angels or gave birth to angels as our support teams. Does it hurt to have a support team? Yes. The universe, God, whatever you call them, Yahweh, whatever works for you, is part of your team too. You can use the angels. If you're not sure, get the flock in here. Angels, get the flock in here. But Sandalphon, that's his gift. And his gift is, we angels bring your gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. And you see this beautiful angel, and these are Sandalphon's colors, that is holding this beautiful chalice. And it's saying, get ready to receive your gifts. Remember, this is a time of harvest in October. And it's also saying, ask for help from others. So right now, you may need help from others. And this card is also saying you're overwhelmed and stressed out. Michael is coming through on this card. That's what it says down here in the corner. And Michael can also help you cut your cords. Now, you can find out how to do that by Googling it. If you want to go to my website, www.carolynjwoodson.com. There's some freebies there on that home page. Click on it. It'll show you cord cutting energetically, and there's a whole process you can go through and do it yourself, and it's fun. And you can show your kids how to do it. Why do we want to cut cords? We don't want to hold on to other people's energy. You can do it once a day, twice a day, over and over throughout the day, but every place you go, everything you come in contact with, from lighting, from the grass, from the air, from wherever, other people, smells, food, everything you come in contact has energy. Do you want to carry that around with you every single day? No, you don't. So the best thing to do is cut the cords. You're not cutting away the person. You're not getting rid of anything or anyone that isn't good for you and meant for you, or that isn't yours already. What it's doing is they're not depleting and using your energy and overusing your energy. And this is saying ask for help from others. Remember I said this is, if you're being stressed out, you need to go see someone about it. Talk to someone about it. Talk to a life coach. Talk to a counselor. Talk to your minister. Talk to someone, a trusted friend. Reach out to me for an angel card reading if you like, or a healing session. I hadn't planned to say that, but if that would help you, by all means. How do you do that? And down in the description below, but you can send me an email and the subject say session. And if you've sent one already and I haven't responded, it's because it probably went to my spam. Just send one again and say, hey, Carolyn, hello. Waiting on the back to hear from you, and I'll be, oh my gosh, and get you in very quickly. Okay? But anyway, ask for help from others. That's with October. Here we go with November. November says get out of your ego. Now, Mercury has gone direct, and it is time for you to really start looking at the rest of the year. Now you only have November, December left. What are you doing? Are you hanging on to your hurts, your resentments, your disappointments? Are you feeling trapped? It's saying accept responsibility for your situation. Stop blaming other people. Well, he did this to me. She said that to me. They said that about me. So what? Let it go. Because you know what? That's other people projecting their stuff onto you. That has nothing to do with you. So you are going to then, when you make those choices, you're going to make choices that are going to support you on your path, not theirs. So you're going to make new choices for 2022. I'm trying to help you get to that place. You're going to let go of addictions. You're going to let go of unhealthy habits. You're going to start substituting all of those things so that you can really begin to receive this next message, which all is well. Remember, everything always works out for me. And this is Archangel Jeremiah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Archangel Jeremiah says everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to be. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. Okay, so this is the planetary dance we're talking about. All of the planets are doing their own thing. And there's a reason why let me say this to you. If everything happened and we were shown everything all at once, it would be so overwhelming we couldn't take it all in or remember it. That's why. And it's saying before you decide to do anything, always get more information. Because there's something that's missing that you haven't figured out yet. Because remember, you're still dealing with letting go of your ego. And so if you're still letting go of your ego, you need to get more information so that you know that everything that you're really looking at shifting is going to really be looked at from a place of all is going to be well. And if you hold that energy of everything works out for me, everything works out for me, do it with the heart link. Everything works out for me, everything works out for me. And just say it once, let it go. No expectations, no telling the universe how you want it to work out. Let the universe and the angels work it out for you. They will. Okay? Now, here we are, last month of 2021. It's a time of awakening. It's a time of awakening. And they're saying take a little bit of time, and some people do this around the holidays, and just look back over the year. It's a time to do, a year review. What did you learn? What went well? Where did you have fun? Where could you have had more fun? What actions could you have taken? How did you uniquely handle a situation? Pat yourself on the back. This is also in traditional tarot considered to be the Fool. And the Fool is really no fool. Where do you really need to reflect and really get some insight? This is also a good month to look at this word, and this comes up a lot in December. Peace. Where can you find peace in your life? Do you have peace in your life? Let's back up a minute. Do you really want to be at peace? Because some people love drama. Some people love chaos. Some people love arguing. And they'll argue about the stupidest stuff. I shouldn't say that, Carolyn. Delete. They'll argue about leaves falling on the ground. Did they fall on the ground? No, someone knocked them down. Who knocked them down? The birds. Okay. That's what happens in the fall. The leaves, they wait for the birds to come by so they fall off the trees. Thought it was a time of transformation. And that's what we're all going through at this time. We're going through a big, huge transformation. Remember, Jupiter is doing its thing. Saturn's doing its thing. Pluto's doing its thing. Neptune's doing their thing. Remember, those planets are all doing their thing, including good old Mercury and Chiron. All right? So it is a good time. This last part of the year, especially in September, October, November, let go of your traumas. Start to really begin to allow yourself to heal so that why? You can have peace in your life. And the angel here is Archangel Chamuel. Chamuel is all about unconditional love. Chamuel says peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So fear isn't real. It's just something that we hold on to. And the angels want you to know there is no need to worry. Because why? Everything always works out for me. That's the overriding message. We're going to have an amazing rest of this year. We really are. And you know what? From the culmination of what's going on here, from the musician and the 10 of fire and the ego work that we're going to be working on releasing, and the awakening that's going to occur, and our life, taking a life review and and really recognizing our gifts and remembering all is well and that peace is coming, or peace can be here, peace can be realized. We can really start to see it within when we've done all this work and we're at the end of December. When are we going to start to see it? And it may show up sooner than that if we've really been doing our own work. But they're saying start to look at the first few weeks of 2022. It's really going to be evident. If you've been doing your work and you've been really working on yourself and you've been working on releasing and letting go, you're going to see those benefits within the next few weeks. So I hope you've been really choosing love over fear, embracing your uniqueness, really going into your heart and asking your heart, what makes my heart sing? What is it that I truly, truly, truly desire to know? What is it I truly, truly, truly value? Letting fear go. Remember, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It's something we've constructed as human beings. And it keeps us going. It keeps us in worry. It keeps us in stress. And oh boy, the medical profession loves that. Do not let fear override your intuition, your talents, or cause you to question your value. Because each and every one of us is worthy. And start saying to yourself, when that comes in, go delete that. I am worthy. I have value. I am loved. I am protected. I am cared for. Okay? All right, so that's my message from Dance of the Planets. Let me know how you like this in the comments below. I really am curious how you're going to like this reading. And if you like it, I'll come back next month and do a little bit more and see what comes up for us. All right? Okay, go ahead. Have an amazing rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. I am. It's my birthday. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me again here on Wisdom from the Angels. Thank you for coming out. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy and be safe.